Welcome, everybody, to Wrestling with the Week, a Nagata lock, let's say number 3. On the last 7 days, that was for you, Eric. I'm your host, James Holmes, joined, as always, by the only man to make Sting cry big baby tears and who clearly wrote this intro, Scorpio Sky.
James, what a week.
It certainly is. It certainly is. And we're going to be talking all about it. We're, of course, going to be doing our Hot Tag Dynamite recap. We've got a lot to cover there. Sky, I want to hear personally from you on some of your thoughts of things that transpired. But other than that, we have an amazing interview with Doc Sampson. It's going to be super cool. It's definitely a side of the industry people don't get to hear about that much. We're going to be talking about all kinds of stuff. I think you want to talk about the Sasquatch documentary. We got shoes news. Like, I don't even know what's going on. This show is jam packed. So I think we should just jump right into it. How do you feel about that? Yeah, shoes news.
I love it. Shoes news. I will tell you. Speaking of, I want to jump right into this.
Mm-hmm.
Last night, it was post show. I was hanging out. I was feeling myself. Having a nice glass of red wine, little Apothic Red, one of my favorites.
Of course.
I had a beautiful gray hoodie on. And one of the Good Brothers, not Gallows and Anderson Good Brothers, but one of the other, we call ourselves Good Brothers, walks up and I look back and I'm full brother, and I'm talking and somehow I just threw an entire glass of red wine all over my hoodie. I don't know how I did it. It was ridiculous.
I mean, it sounds like you were drunk. I think the term you're looking for is you were drunk, but go ahead.
Maybe. Mm-hmm. But now I need a new hoodie because I cannot travel. I can't get on a plane tomorrow. I don't know. I have this weird thing. It could be 150 degrees outside. I need to have a hoodie when I'm on a plane.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to have to maybe buy a new hoodie. I might just leave this one in the hotel. I don't know.
So you should find some young kid and sign it for him and then throw it at him, but not like someone who is there to see wrestling or someone who knows who you are at all. Just like someone at the airport.
F them kids. I'm not giving my hoodie away.
All right. Throw it in the trash.
I'm just kidding.
So Sky, you not only is the children in the airport, but you have a tendency to make some enemies. All right. And listen, I'm on your side. We've talked about this. I'm on your side. I know what you're trying to do. I know what you're trying to achieve. But can you talk a little bit about the state of things? You, Sting, Darby, Ethan, what's going on?
I myself and my friend Ethan just wanted to see a fair fight. We thought that Miro earned his opportunity to get where he was at, and we thought it would have been a complete tragic ending if that coward Sting got involved and cost him the match. So we bought our tickets. We didn't buy them. I know a guy. I got us some seats. And we wanted to sit out there just to make sure everything goes according to plan. And the plan was to have a nice, clean, fair fight. And Sting wanted to get involved. So, we just had to we were enforcers. We were unofficial officials, just trying to make sure that he stays out of it and let the two guys in the ring, let Sting's little buddy, let Sting's Gilligan handle the fight for himself. And you saw what happened, Miro. We've got a new champion.
We do have a new champion. The highlight of that match for me, well, one of many highlights, but was when Jim Ross referred to Darby as Sting's boy. That's because it's true. I mean, it kind of makes sense, but it's also all right, so not son, not brother, but his boy. I'm I kind of understand that relationship.
Well, was it like that, or was it yeah, that's my boy over there? Maybe Sting is that's my boy.
I don't know.
Or
maybe
is it
Sting
very a proud that's my boy.
Yeah, I think it's that. Yeah, it's
I will tell you this: that boy ain't right.
That's true. That's fair. Well, he's also not the champ anymore. So I'm just worried. Are you at all concerned? I mean, you're going to this hornet's nest again and again. I love the confidence, and again, I love seeing you out there doing what you got to do, keeping things fair. But I'm just, are you worried about things going too far? Again, I hate to say it, but we're messing with Sting. He's a wrestling legend, kind of known for getting pissed off and stalking people until they disappear. So,
am I concerned? You ever play with a dog? And he had a nice little cute little dog, and
all
he
the time,
started scratching the dog's belly and the belly, and the dog just rolls over and is just relaxed and just so comfortable and so just unbothered. That's my level of concern. I am just feeling so good. I'm feeling myself. I'm like a
wait, you're the dog.
Rub.
So who scratched? Sting is scratching your belly. Who's scratching you?
He better not.
Okay.
No.
All right. Okay.
No. I'm scratching my own belly.
Okay.
You're missing my point. It's not about who's scratching. I'm saying I'm unbothered. I am relaxed. I'm feeling good about things. We've got a new champion. TNT has a new face, and it's a good face. It's not a painted up face, and you got to cover it up because you're so ugly. No, we've got the best man and a handsome man. He's a man's man.
Well, I want to ask, was there any sort of, obviously you guys were just there enjoying the match like anyone would, but have you guys spoken to Miro at all? Has there been any sort of conversation there? Like, I mean, congratulations, you had that title shot not too long ago, and it was unfairly ripped away from you. So, have you spoken to Miro? Any congratulations? Maybe send him an email or a text and be like, nice job, buddy.
I will send him a congratulations here live on this show. Miro, congratulations. You are the TNT champion and you deserve it. And the hotel was so pleased with my actions. They gave me this energy bar that I just dropped out of the package. I ate half of it already.
Okay.
This peanut butter and cranberry sustainable energy bar. They said we've seen you got cupcakes. We've seen you've got Reese's peanut butter cups. But we're concerned. We want you to be healthy. We want you to be strong because you're fighting the good fight and you're doing good things. So they got me a nice health bar because they were so proud of what I did last night. So I want to thank the Marriott. You are so much appreciated. Thanks so much, guys.
It is remarkable the number of people out there, especially in the hospitality industry, that hate Sting, like can't stand him. I'm not saying that's why they slipped you those extra treats, because they've been handing you treats every single week. But part of me wonders if it's kind of under their breath. They slide over a Reese's Pieces or something to you and they go like, you break his ankle next time or something like that. Not my words, but theirs.
People just don't like bullies, James.
That's fair.
People don't like bullies.
That's fair.
That's all it is.
You're right. I agree. I completely agree. Well, listen, we've only scratched the surface of what happened on Dynamite. So I feel like since we're talking about it already, we might as well get into it. You want to get into it? Look at it. He's enjoying it. Roll over on his back. You want to get into it? You ready for Hot Tag?
I'm ready. Let's do it. Let's bring in Eric. Let's go to the Hot Tag.
Guys, what an exciting show so far. I love a dog belly scratching analogy.
Yeah.
And who is scratching his belly? It doesn't matter. He's just excited. Oh, look at that.
The fans are the ones scratching the belly. Right, look at that.
You kidding me?
Are we doing
me right now? James, you too.
I'm feeling strong. I'm feeling
James,
good.
You too. Okay.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
this sucks.
Eric, let's put all three of them side by side.
No, it's the camera. It messes with me. Don't worry about guys. We have to talk about Dynamite. We have to talk about Dynamite.
Right.
Okay.
Welcome to the Hot Tag segment, guys. We have to get into what happened last night. Here's what I want to lead with.
Okay.
At Double or Nothing, it will be Anthony Ogogo against the American Dream, Cody Rhodes. How big is it for Cody Rhodes to pick up that moniker, to wrestle under the name? He said for one night only, to wrestle under that name, American Dream. What do you guys think about that?
You know what, Eric, I'll tag in on this. I think it's pretty awesome. I think for the last maybe couple of months, we've seen Cody floating in this middle ground in AEW, but it just goes to show that it doesn't matter whether or not he has a belt around his waist. He can elevate any match to a certain degree. It was an amazing promo, just a killer promo. And I love that he's going to take on this American Dream moniker. I'm genuinely curious how Anthony's going to do, because we've seen him a little bit of action, but it's mostly him grabbing someone who off the edge of the ring or something and then just getting a cheap shot in. So I really want to see how much of a punch he can pack when there's a bell, there's a ref, there's rules. It's going to be an interesting match for sure.
Sky?
Yeah, I'm going to tag in on this one. Anthony Ogogo is dangerous. He's an Olympic medalist. He's got dynamite in both hands. No pun intended. However, I am super into the idea of the American dream. He said the appearance is going to stay the same. It comes from within. And I am excited to see an American dream Cody Rhodes, baby. I'm ready for it.
It's exciting. And Anthony Ogogo has a lot to answer for. He'll be facing Austin Gunn next week on Dynamite. I know I have some friends at a little thing called New Legacy who are worried about Austin Gunn and what kind of injuries he may sustain from fighting Anthony Ogogo, but we'll have to wait and see. Guys, next on the docket, this one hits close to home. The Young Bucks used every trick in the book to beat and disband SoCal Uncensored, SCU, Chris Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, even Scorpio Sky. No more. What now?
I got a hot tag.
Whoa.
I'm hot tagging. Hot tagging. Obviously, this was a personal one for me. I sat in the dressing room by myself. I watched this match. You know, a lot of people, I think, wanted to see me get involved in some way, shape, or form, but I wasn't going to do that. The Young Bucks are my friends. SCU are obviously very close. Frankie and Chris, we're very close. We've had a great run. I wanted to let them figure it all out, but I have to say, the Young Bucks pulled it out. They did what they had to do. But Frankie and Chris looked phenomenal. They looked better than ever. It's a little bit crazy for me to think that they're done. It's over. This tag team that has been together for 10 or 15 years is done for good. The addiction's gone. SCU is gone. Bad influence is gone. And I just want to thank those two guys for all of the help that they've given me in my career, helping take me to the next level. And hey, worst town, no more. Sad days, man.
Man, wow. That was excellently said. That was poignant, James.
I don't want to get emotional, you know.
I understand. That was, wow, man. Guys, look, I think we leave that one there. That's a heavy one. I think we just move on. I think we just go to the next thing. There's a double DQ finish. Look, there's a double, almost a knockout when Orange Cassidy and Pac both cannot reach their feet for the 10 count. Mostly because Kenny Omega hit Pac in the back of the head with a title. Listen, this is neither here nor there. But we know now at Double or Nothing, Kenny Omega, Pac, and Orange Cassidy, a three-way for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Let me know. Who do you got?
Yeah, and let me tag in on this. I'm going to make a prediction here. Kenny to retain. Okay.
Wow.
And here's why. Cassidy got just the hell beat out of him that whole match, which would make me say, "Oh, Pac is the one. Pac is going to be the guy." But he was also down for the 10 count. And how often do you see an athlete like that down for 10? It never happens. It never happens in this sport. And so I personally think that as scary as the odds are for Kenny, I think he has the wiliness. He might be able to take advantage of this situation, and as opposed to it being something that works against him. So
Interesting. Sky, thoughts?
I am going to tag in on this one too, because this is interesting and I need to know the rules. I believe this is going to be the first time a singles championship was contested in AEW in a three-way match.
I think that's correct. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So is this elimination? Is this first fall? I believe it's going to be first fall. And if it's first fall, this favors Orange Cassidy.
Wow.
Okay.
This is why. Because Kenny and Pac are going to try to rip each other's heads off. They've got history. And the King of Sloth style is perfect in this type of match to lay low, fly under the radar, and when the right opportunity comes, swoop right in there and become world champion. Wow. That is why, if this is a first fall, I favor Orange Cassidy.
Wow. That's the kind of stuff that I want here on Wrestling with the Week, guys. That's a hot take right there. Orange Cassidy is the new World Heavyweight Championship after winning the first triple threat match. Crazy. Kenny Omega wouldn't even have to factor into the finish. That's nuts. Moving on. The Pinnacle versus the Inner Circle at Double or Nothing in a stadium stampede match. However, if the Inner Circle loses, they disband. A lot of disbandings here going on in AEW. That's crazy. This is really, you thought it came to a head at Blood and Guts. It's coming to a head at Double or Nothing. I can't wait. Who do you got? Who's winning? Is Inner Circle getting disbanded? Is the Pinnacle walking away the winner? What do you guys think?
I'm tagging in on this one. First off, I want to say Stadium Stampede last year was one of the most entertaining matches I've ever seen. So I'm excited to see it again. But this time, the stakes are even higher. This is more than personal. And the Inner Circle have been like the most powerful group since the beginning of AEW, since television started. Day one of television on TNT, the Inner Circle formed. They have been a consistent factor on this show. And if the prospect of them having to rip this thing apart, if they lose, I can't even picture AEW without the Inner Circle. So that's going to be very interesting to see where this goes.
Ooh, that's going to be wild. James, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm just going to just a real quick tag, and then I'm going to tag right back out again. So I'm just going to you just put them in the corner, and I'm going to chop them a couple times, and we'll tag you right back in. I just think it is blowing me away how many groups are putting their friendship and their alliance on the line. It's just it's interesting, and I'm curious to see if the Inner Circle was really thinking about what they were offering up when that SCU match happened. So there's a lot at stake. There's a lot at stake, and I don't know who's going to take it. I mean, Blood and Guts was not the Pinnacle's match until the very end, until the last moment. So I think it'll be interesting to see, but they have everything to lose. I am. What? I don't know. Did something happen? Something happened. Things went down over here.
It's
Sting! I heard something in the rafters,
Yeah.
and then
Sting and Darby
everything
cut our
went
feed.
down. I'm not. Maybe they did. All right. Okay. Well, that concludes Hot Tag. That's our Dynamite recap. Let's just toss right to our awesome run-in from Doc Sampson. This is a great interview. Check it out. Super excited for our guest this week, coming on to talk to us about a different side of the wrestling world, something that maybe you haven't heard a lot about, and maybe I haven't even gotten to discuss a lot. It is Doc Sampson, AEW's ringside physician. Doc, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
I think the best place is to kind of start from the beginning. Obviously, you're a doctor, you have medical expertise, but how did you get into the wrestling business?
So professional wrestling was never on my radar during my educational career coming up through medical school. I knew I wanted to do sports medicine, so I'm board certified in family medicine and sports medicine. And I knew I'd take care of, one of the big sports, but never professional wrestling. I watched it as a kid with my dad and my grandfathers, and then, got into other sports and stuff, and it just kind of went away from it. And then got a call from the medical director for WWE, and he's also the neurosurgeon for the Steelers. So he said, "Hey, we've been following your career, and we want you to work with us." And I said, "Yes." And he said, "You don't even know what I asked. You don't know what even team I'm like, the Steelers." She's like, "No." Well, there you go. Okay. And he said, WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment, professional wrestling. I'm like, let me think about this. And so took some time, thought about it, talked to my friends, started watching it. And I'm like, all right, let's give this a try. And at that time, I was with Georgia Tech. I was team doc with Georgia Tech. And so I went on the road for 3 TVs and hung out with the other doc and the trainers. And they said, "Well, what do you think?" And I said, "Sign me up." I said, "But I have to finish women's basketball in the ACC tournament. We have to finish first, or we have to finish, then I'll start." Well, we lost in the first round, so I got to start early. So, and it's been a ride ever since, and I've loved every minute of it.
That's awesome.
So obviously, like you said, you're a wrestling fan growing up, but never really envisioned yourself being in the wrestling business. Once you got into it, and obviously at the highest level, a huge company, like what was that transition like? Like going from being, a doctor, in real life, and all of a sudden you're in this crazy world of pro wrestling. Like, what's that transition?
It was, thankfully, I have to give credit to the 2 trainers that worked with me at the beginning, Larry Heck and Peaches. He's known as Peaches. Mm-hmm. They kept me in my seat because every time someone would go down, take a bump, and I would, go jumping out of my chair to go run in. And they'd set me down and go, "Doc, you'll know when the time is right. You'll know when it's a work or a shoot." And I had to learn all the vernacular too, because I'm like, I don't know what that means. And so learned all that. And I think I have a keen eye now to knowing when someone is a good worker. I still get fooled, but and some people, actually you're very good at selling. But obviously health and safety is number one. We're gonna go, even if it's questionable, we're gonna go. But I've gotten better at it. Now I'm teaching my athletic trainer, Bryce Reddy, and my other Brad Westbrook. They're the newbies. And so I'm sitting them in their seats going, "Relax. Mm-hmm. You'll know." And so, we're getting to that point.
Compared to other sports that you've worked on, how does wrestling compare in terms of that preparation that you need? Because I don't normally see people doing moonsaults and stuff in a basketball game. So how do you prepare for what you have to do?
So I mean, for any sport, you have an emergency action plan. You prepare for the worst, and hope for the best. And, we have EMTs there. When you do pay-per-views, you have different stage setups for pay-per-views. So you got to put that in the equation of, if something goes down, how am I going to get the paramedics there? How am I going to get that talent out safely to the hospital? So we have emergency action plans. I work with my 2 athletic trainers, and we have a plan. And so we communicate if something goes down, check with every talent when they come off the stage. Are you okay? You know, if even if they say okay and it looked a little funky, let's go back to training room, just check it out for safety. And everybody's very good about that. They don't sit there and fight you or anything. They let you go back. And I think that's something that the business is changing. Hopefully, at least for my point of view, in AEW with our culture, they're professional athletes. They should be treated as such. And it's in the indies, you know, you're lucky if you have tape. Right. So, I mean, now, you know, you have a physician, you have 2 athletic trainers, we have a cold tub, we have a sauna, we have, you know, anything you would need to take care of professional athletes. And that's what we do. We want the longevity of the career. You know, we don't want like a little, you know, star flash and then done. We want them to be able to be through their career and then after their career, you know, have kids, you know, have you know, a husband or wife or whatever, and allow yourself to take that time after your great career to now have that post-career. So the longevity is what we go for, and that's what we do. We like to take care of them because of that. So, but we take everything seriously, even if it is a work. We check them out backstage. They're like, Doc, it was a work. And some talents still do that to me. Chris Jericho is one of the best. And he's like, Doc, it's me. I'm like, okay, you got me.
Yeah, I will speak from personal experience. Like I'd say more than half of our guys came from the indies. And so, you know, again, like he said, you know, we're lucky if we have tape. And more often than not, we didn't have tape. And I had a knee injury a couple of months ago where, you know, in a normal indie show, I would just, oh, okay, well, that hurts. I guess, you know, I'll just put an extra pad on or something. And so for me, it's like, it's very different to like, no, let's check you out. Let's send you out. Let's get this thing looked at. And then you find out, oh, I'm actually injured and shouldn't wrestle for a little while. So from a performer standpoint, I actually am really grateful to have guys like Doc Sampson and Bryce and the staff we have, because now you feel so much safer and taken care of and you know, you can go out and worry about performing, and the other stuff will take care of itself. So moving on to the next question I'm interested in. So we talk about how like you're at ringside for all of the matches, which brings me to obviously a not so fun subject. Could you tell us a little bit about the Jerry Lawler situation?
Yeah, we were sitting there. We were in Montreal. We were sitting there, you know, 15,000 people or whoever. And Mike Mansouri comes over to me and goes like, Doc, check on Jerry. And I looked, and he had his head on the desk. And I thought, you know, Jerry's always joking around, so I thought that he was like acting like he was sleeping because it was a boring match. And so I went over to him, and I'm like, and I heard like snoring, and I, you know, again, I thought it was part of it. And I was like, Jerry, you okay? And he didn't respond. And so one of the big things that you do if someone's, you know, if you really want to see if someone's out or not, is you do a sternal rub, and you rub as hard as you can on the sternum, and that hurts, even if you're unconscious, but you're still arousable. You do that, and so I did that to him, and he wasn't moving. So I sat him up, laid him down, and you know, checked on him, checked his vitals. His pulse was really weak, and I told Mike, I said, look, we got to go. And so started CPR, and then took him in the back, and there's video. If the person that's yelling with their big mouth is me to get everybody to get out, and we just started CPR, shocked him like 7 times. I was actually going to start intubating, so I'm putting the tube in his throat, and I asked the paramedics where the hospital was, and it was like right down the street. So I said, let's go. So you can see the video of me doing CPR into the ambulance, and then we took off and got to the hospital. He'd stabilized by then. They were trying to figure out who he was. So here's he was like 62 at the time, or 68 maybe. I don't know I can't remember how old he was. In a wrestling singlet. And did he get hit his head? Does he have a heart attack? What's going on? Did the EKG? They thought I was security. They kicked me out, and I'm like, I'm the doctor. And they were talking in French. They were speaking in French because it was Montreal. So I was trying to figure out what they were doing, and then a nice nurse came over and started talking to me, showed me the EKG, saw that he had a heart attack, and they wanted to take him down and do the testing, and they did, and came back, and you know, and we had a show the next night in in Ottawa. So Jerry's up in the ICU. No one's there. His family's coming over. I'm geographically clueless. So I'm thinking, oh, Montreal's so far away from the United States. It's right across the border. And so we tucked him in the ICU, drove and went to Ottawa to the next day. And so it was nerve-wracking as far as that, but we had a good outcome. I mean, he got through it, and he's, to this day, we celebrate it every year, joke around about it. But that was scary, and I never want to have that happen again. But if it does, I mean, we're prepared.
Doc Sampson, one of the unsung heroes here in the wrestling business, and specifically here in All Elite Wrestling. I'm extremely happy to have you and your staff. But now we've got to move on to a little bit of fun. We've done some questions. We've grilled you a little bit. We're going to bring our producer Eric in because we have a little bit of a game here. And I'm undefeated in this game.
Okay.
So we got to see if you can beat me.
I am perpetually injured on the do not wrestle list for this game. And whatever 10.
Yeah, James is not so good at this game. Sky is undefeated. I cannot sneak one by him. This is a game we call Shoot News. Guys, we're here with Shoot News. Look, we got 2 real stories, 1 fake story. It's going to be your job to find the fake story. It's going to start right now. The first story: South Carolina House adds firing squad to execution methods.
All right.
So
this is a story from 2021.
Yes, these are recent news stories.
Great. Gotcha.
Firing squad.
Firing squad in South Carolina. Something to think about. Right. Second story: Bungee jumper left stranded for 3 hours, 1,100 feet in the air after malfunction.
1,100 feet.
1,100 feet in the air for 3 hours after malfunction. Damn, lastly, the third and final: Taco Bell will start reusing hot sauce packets. This is what he does. You're like listening to it, and then like something, and he throws you. You're like, okay, I think I'm calibrated in, and then he throws you a curveball, and you're like, this could be real, but this could also just be some insane thing that Eric thought of.
I think I've got my answer.
Wow, Scott, you've already got it?
I think so. I'm not sure, but I think the firing squad is the fake story.
Okay.
Okay. Doc, are you leaning towards which one of do you feel like is fake?
The firing squad's like maybe on the top, but I'm thinking the bungee jumper hanging there for that long. I think I don't think that's real.
Medically, do you know anything medically?
Yeah, he's got like a medical opinion. He's like, no, they're not gonna.
Is it something like the human being can only withstand? Do you have any insider knowledge?
James, you can't use that to help you decide.
Yeah, no kidding. Jeez.
All right, what's your choice?
Walking Doc in. James, it all comes down to this.
I'm going to say the Taco Bell sauce packets, but I swear if that story is true because of some sort of like recycling machine or whatever, like what are they? Oh, wait, hold on. Are they pulling them out of the trash? How do they get my sauce packets? How does Taco Bell get my sauce packets again? Now I'm saying it out loud, and I think I want to change my answer to the bungee jump.
You want to change your answer to the bungee jump?
How would they get my sauce packets?
Your specific sauce packet.
I swear to God, if this is the sauce packets, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to go bungee jumping.
Okay.
All right, 2 for bungee, 1 for firing squad.
All right, here we go, guys. Taco Bell will start reusing hot sauce packets. Is a true story.
Okay.
And it is a recycling thing, so you were right.
Not eating there anymore.
So you figured it out.
Okay.
So,
all right.
So let's move on to South Carolina House adds firing squad to execution methods. Is a true story.
Wow.
Sky has been defeated. The reign of the king is over. Look at Doc Sampson just standing there. He knows. He knew. Medically, he knew there was no way.
Medically.
Bungee jumper left stranded for 3 hours, 1,100 feet in the air after malfunction is one that I created from my own little twisted brain.
You did well.
So,
Wow.
James, you finally, after like 4 or 5 weeks of this, you finally got one. And Doc Sampson, after only the first time you've ever seen this game, you and James are tied. But that's the way it goes. And guys, Sky has finally been defeated. And that is how we play the game. Shoot news.
Well, I will take my L with grace. Once again, thank you so much for being a part of the show, Wrestling with the Week. Great interview. Had a lot of fun. James, you got anything for us?
No, I think it's amazing what you do, and I think it adds a whole new layer to an appreciation for this business that I just love as a fan. So thank you.
No, thank you guys for having me and introducing to people what we do. And again, these guys are professional athletes. They should be treated as such, and hopefully we stand up to do that with them. So.
And let's not overlook the fact that he said I'm great at selling earlier in this interview.
He did say that.
Yes,
He did
I
say
love
that.
it when people put me over.
Yeah.
Thanks, Doc.
One last question, Doc, before we go. How do you think Sky would fare by taking a baseball bat to the stomach?
Please. You don't have to answer
Have you seen these chiseled abs?
Actually, you can answer that.
Yes. That's what I'm setting it up for. As I said, no pain. He wouldn't feel it at all, and it wouldn't do anything.
Is Sting a coward? Yes or no?
You don't have to answer that, Doc. We don't have to answer that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
This episode of Wrestling with the Week is brought to you by Honey. These days, it feels like online shopping is the only shopping we do. That's where today's sponsor, Honey, comes into play. It's the free browser extension that scours the internet for promo codes and automatically tests them when you're checking out. Honey is basically your online shopping best friend. Here's how it works. You get Honey on your computer for free in 2 easy clicks. Then when you're checking out on one of its over 30,000 supported sites, Honey pops up, and all you have to do is click Apply Coupons. You just wait a few seconds. Honey searches for coupons for that site, and if it finds codes that work, boom, it applies the best one to your cart. Honey has found its over 17 million members, over $2 billion in savings, and supports all kinds of retailers, from tech and gaming sites to fashion brands, even food delivery. It's simple. If you have a computer, Honey should be on it. It's free and works with whatever browser you use. You can get Honey for free today at joinhoney.com/week. That's joinhoney.com/WEEK, so they know we sent you. Give it a try and see how much you'll save today. Thanks, Honey, for supporting today's episode. Thank you so much to Doc Sampson for that incredible interview. And if you want to hear the whole interview where he talks about all kinds of cool stuff, like how AEW's managed the whole COVID situation and making sure that everyone stays safe, please check it out. It's all there in the audio version. It was a great interview, and I had a blast talking to him.
Yeah, I thought it was great. It was really cool to, give people that side of wrestling, which they don't really get to see. They get to hear about the commentators and the wrestlers and all these people, but the unsung heroes from behind the scenes. So once again, thank you to Doc Sampson for coming in and doing that interview. So now we're moving on to the next segment. One of my favorite, James.
Yeah.
What it do, baby? Yeah.
Wow. It's getting easier and easier for you to hold the note through the whole thing.
Oh yeah,
So,
I was almost gonna hit that like Dwayne the la, la, la. I might do that next week. Yeah.
Yeah.
So today is a very special day. It is Stevie Wonder's 71st birthday. James, are you a Stevie Wonder fan? Do you have a favorite song?
Yeah, I think my favorite Stevie Wonder song is Wild Wild West.
In the Wild Wild West.
No, we were talking about this a little bit beforehand.
Will Smith version?
Yeah. But I have like he obviously has a legacy, and so there's a lot. I've heard a lot of his music. It's ever present. I wouldn't say that I am I am super knowledgeable of all of that, but I do think it's funny that there are things like the Wild Wild West theme that people don't realize are, just covers or samples of all the incredible music that he's made. So.
Oh, such a legend, such a legend. I love his music. Isn't She Lovely? Overjoyed. He's just got hit after hit after hit. So happy birthday to Stevie Wonder. Such a talent, amazing. Have you seen the Sasquatch documentary? I believe it's on Hulu.
I have seen there's so much stuff. I feel like I'm watching so much stuff, but I've seen the first episode, and I need to get back into it because it was pretty fantastic. Have you watched the whole thing?
Yeah, actually, the bunny, Allie, referred, like, she texted me a few weeks
Hmm.
ago and was like, "This is right up your alley. I think you love it. You got to watch it." And so I checked it out and I really enjoyed it. I think it's only about four, maybe 3 or 4 episodes. So definitely make sure you watch the rest of it because it gets so interesting and went a direction I actually didn't see coming.
I,
So that was really cool.
my favorite thing, anytime Sasquatch or like anything like hills, like even Wendigo or anything like that comes up, there's always an interview with some dude who's like, "I know what I saw." Like it's like it's like, do you though? Do you? He's like, "I know what I saw."
I'm pretty sure that's an exact quote from that
Is it?
documentary.
And maybe it was in
Yeah,
the
and
first
yeah.
episode.
The cool thing is they get into the old, like, the video that ended
Mhm.
up being a hoax. Like the guy is just walking, he's looking back like, "Hey," like
Yeah, yeah,
they get
yeah.
into, like, they interview that guy and he's still trying to sell it like it's real.
Oh,
Not to give
really?
you a spoiler. I mean, I said, but yeah,
Wait,
he's still trying to act like that was real.
the guy who made it?
Yeah, the guy that recorded the thing, and then like
Oh,
they're
wow.
interviewing the other guy that dressed up in the outfit, and he's
Mhm.
like, "Yeah, it was all work. Like he,
Ha-
paid me to do this.
Have you
I
ever
did it in one take."
seen have you ever seen the when they someone did an unshaky cam. They like basically stabilized the footage of the Sasquatch because it's all shaky and stuff. It's like, oh,
Yep.
and he's like walking. It kind of has like a weird, extra ordinary feel to it. But the actual stabilized version is straight up a dude in like a ghillie suit walking, like going for a stroll. Like it's
Yeah.
someone walking his dog.
The guy says he could see my wallet in the back of it because I had a big old wallet.
Perfect.
So, like,
Yeah.
real quick, I want to send a congratulations to Russell Westbrook of the Washington Wizards, loyal listener to the show, by the way.
Hmm.
Uh, he earlier this week recorded his 182nd triple double, passing Oscar Robertson in a record that has stood for 47 years.
Wow.
What an unbelievable record. So I just wanted to touch on that. I know you're not a big hoop guy. I would be remiss if I didn't mention that. What I do really want to talk to you about, because
Yes.
this is something that you can help educate me on,
Yep.
is I just read this morning about Sony announcing a black and separately a red PS5 controller.
Hmm.
And it looked cool.
Yep.
I must say that. But I believe it had a price tag of like $70. It's coming out next month. And I want to
Yeah.
ask you, what is special about this controller? Why am I going to pay $70 for it when I'm probably just going to break it because I turned the ball over 7 times in the fourth quarter against the Miami Heat? So please tell me, educate me on
Yeah.
this.
I mean, the truth of the matter is that these controllers went from being like 2 buttons and some directional pads, or even just a joystick and 1 button, to being essentially as complicated as your smartphone. Like the technology inside these devices is pretty incredible. So like that's why it's expensive. But I also think that kind of how you feel about sneakers in a lot of ways, and a lot of people feel about sneakers, they've kind of become collector's items for people. So like you can see controllers that are themed or have special colorways and stuff like that. It's there. If with Xbox especially, you can order away for like a custom color scheme. So if you want an Xbox controller that had like the Lakers colors, you could design that and then like get it. I know people that have walls of controllers the same way people have walls of shoes or walls of art. Like that's kind of what it is. And this, in my opinion, everyone's getting super. I see people on my Twitter feed and stuff getting super excited about these controllers, and I think it allows them to better customize their gaming aesthetic experience. And you and I have also talked about like, why isn't there a black PS5? Like, not everyone wants the colors that they decide for their console, and they'd rather find something that fits maybe their household or their own design choices and stuff like that. And this is like the first step in that direction. I think that's why everyone's freaking out.
I must say it does look really cool, and I've already seen like mock-ups of what a black PS5 would look like, and it
Mhm.
looks absolutely sick. I mean, it's like Knight Rider or something.
Yeah.
Last but not least, I do have one thing I want to show here. I need to show it. I have to show it. I don't know if you noticed on Dynamite last night or on the AEW Twitter, but your boy has a new t-shirt out. The Wrestling Savant. Scorpio Sky. What a beautiful shirt. I must say everyone should go out and buy it. Shop AEW.com. James, what do you think of this shirt?
I love it. I saw it. I saw your tweet, and then I saw it announced. That's a sick shirt. It's not the 50%. It's not the stuff that the Wrestling with Week community came up with. And dare I say, it's a little bit better. It's a great looking shirt. It is sick, and I honestly like how it fits the aesthetic of your ring gear a lot. That's what I think is really cool about it.
Design team did a great job. And yeah, this is my first solo t-shirt. All of my other shirts were SCU shirts. So it's very fitting, I guess, that my solo shirt has dropped at the end of SCU. So that's all we have for that. And James, every week we talk about me a lot. I know I said that last week, and I love to talk about myself, but at the same time, I'm trying to get to know you still. We didn't know each other that well at the beginning of this project, putting this podcast together. We're already in season 2. I need to learn more about you. So this is your time. We're going into the next phase of this show. One of my favorites. I need to know what's going on. This is 15 seconds with James. Let's get that clock going. And James, what's going on, my friend?
All right. Let's see the clock there. I want to see it pop up. Okay, we're ready to go. I also have a new t-shirt that I am excited to announce. Eric, can we show off my shirt here? I want to get people's reaction to it. Yeah, it looks like a piece of corn.
And that's all the time we have. I must say, that is the corniest shirt I've ever seen.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff.
Yeah, I had to pause on that one. A dad joke, right? I'm not even a dad, but a dad joke. Zaddy joke. Zaddy.
Yeah, say you're dad to someone out there. Someone looks to you as a dad.
Whoa! Don't say that. That's,
well,
that could be taken in a complete different way, man. No, with all this,
you got a ton of kids out there, Sky.
Whoa!
You just don't know it.
No. I called no on that.
Where's wood?
Please.
We got to knock on wood.
All right.
Wait, no, knocking on wood is how we got into this situation in the first place. Oh my God, we are basically running out of time.
Yeah, I hope my girlfriend didn't hear this part of the show. Anyways, all right. So
she always turns it off. As soon as it gets to 15 seconds with James, that's when your girlfriend stops listening and watching.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope she didn't hear James. Oh, yeah, you have tons of kids out there. What? What? I'm sorry. All right.
Yeah.
Let's that's about it, right? We've got let's make sure we get the social in there. Make sure everybody knows to follow us on Twitter and Instagram. That is WWTWPOD, Wrestling with Week Pod. Make sure you follow. You can follow us individually. James is James Willems. I am at Scorpio Sky. That is both on Twitter and Instagram. Go double tap some of our stuff. And on that note, we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring Eric back for the finish.
Finish. Are we saying it all at the same time?
Yeah, we were all saying it at the same time.
Oh, okay, got it.
We were all saying it. I thought it was good. All right, guys, look, we don't have a lot of time left, so I want to just get this real quick. We talked about the different colored PS5 controllers. There's black, there's red, there's white. I want to know if you could colorway a PS5 controller, what would you make it look like? What are the colors that you would pick for your own custom PS5 controller? Mine would just look like the show. I love Wrestling with the Week. That's all I'm saying. So I'll leave it to you guys to take us out.
You need a moment, James?
Yeah.
My answer is easy.
Go for it.
Mine would be the colors of the Lakers.
I knew it.
Lakers. Maybe on like one side an 8 and on one side a 24. That would be super sick. Maybe someone can customize that for me. Let me know if anybody can do that. That'd be sick.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right, James. What do you think? You can anything you want.
Anything I want.
You gotta get creative.
Anything I want on a PS5 controller, and I gotta get creative. All right, I think I've got it. I'd want it to be the neon green color from Cole Trickle's car in Days of Thunder.
That's a deep cut, man. All right.
But imagine you come over and I go, oh, that's the PS5. And they go, is that it looks just like Cole Trickle's car from Days of Thunder. And I go, that's because that's what it is, my friend. That's what it is.
All right, so we're not trying to get the youth for this show. Got it.
How
right,
dare you?
Yeah, all right.
Gen Z loves Days of Thunder as soon as they find out what it is.
All right, start doing Days of Thunder TikToks. Jeez, man. All right, guys, we got to go. We have to wrap this thing up. We got to say goodbye, and then we got to, let's go. Let's go. Take it out.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for watching, listening, Wrestling with the Week. We'll be back next week with another amazing interview, some awesome Dynamite chat, updates on both of our lives. Mine maybe less, more so. We got big old biceps. If you are only listening to the podcast, we encourage you to check it out when we broadcast live or even watch that VOD after the fact, because we get flexing in this show. It's the flexiest podcast available on the internet. Okay? And that's a promise. Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening. Sky, any final thoughts?
Congratulations, Miro. Sorry, Darby.
Bye, everybody.
Just stop. From the bottom to the top, gotta push through it all. You the one, do it all. You the one, do it all.